Hello! I'm Maddie Rose. You can call me Rose or you can call me Maddie, whatever is fine. I thought I would do this video to better explain my process when making comic pages. And if you want to read it, the link will be in the description down below. Also, thank you for Chaos for recommending that I do this. Hopefully it helps somewhat. Okay, so first I'm writing out the dialogue just by hand. My handwriting is really messy. I try to make sure it's in the right order, but I usually end up making lots of changes later. Even changes like at the very last minute, because I always am trying to make it better as I go. I pulled up on the left the previous page just so I can read it and look through the dialogue on the newer page and just make sure that both of them are flowing together nicely. Okay, so here I'm starting the rough sketches. They're just like really quick, basic sketches that are just to get the basic pose and expression across. These like don't take me very long at all, usually around like 10 minutes or less, because I don't want to spend too much time on them. Also, another thing I should mention is that I use the 6B pencil for sketching. I do end up moving the dialogue that I've written to the space where I think it will go, just so I know to leave room for the speech bubble when I put it there. Okay, now I'm starting the line art. I always use hemp for my line art brush. It's under organic and the default Procreate brushes. I usually don't spend a ton of time on line art. It's usually only around like 15 to 40 minutes. But sometimes with hemp, since it has like a little bit of a texture to it, it can leave holes in the lines. And I just make sure that as I go, I'm filling in those lines and I'm just keeping an eye out for it. I don't spend a whole lot of time dwelling on what the lines look like because I really don't want to be spending forever on each stage. I have to do 2 pages a week, so I really want to take every chance I get to cut down time. And you can also see what I'm doing here is I've copy and pasted an expression from one of the previous pages, and I've just started to go back and like edit it a little bit so it's a little bit different, but it does save a lot of time in the long run. When doing the line art, I also try to draw in the markings, so it saves me some time when I do colors, so I can just fill in the markings as I go. Okay, so now I'm starting the coloring. What I do is I set the line art layer to reference, and on a layer underneath, I start to fill it in. It doesn't perfectly fill in the entire thing, so I have to go back and do that myself, but it doesn't take too long to just go back and fix it, so I don't mind. I color the eyes on a separate layer so I can select them and shade them easier. It also helps if there's like a night scene and I want the eyes to not be affected by an overlay that I add to the main color layer. Yeah, coloring usually takes me the longest, but I have no idea what the exact amount of time it takes me is, which would be a good thing to say. So I forgot to record the background part, but it usually doesn't take me that long anyways. All I do is I sort of throw down a solid color of like for the ground and the sky, and I have a go-to brush that I use for grass, like a little bit of a grass texture that I think it's called Old Brush, and I think it's under painting in Procreate. Okay, so now I'm doing the shading, and shading takes me very, very little time. I do it very quickly, and I think it's because I've been doing it for so long that it starts to go by really quickly. I know what I'm doing now, so I just do it. It takes me like probably less than 20 minutes to do all of these poses. Okay, now I'm starting to color the lines. Really, it's just I'm doing the last stuff that I have to do for the comic, which is just color the lines and add highlights to the eyes. I usually just take the color white and set it to overlay and add like a little bit of an oval shape to the eye to give a little bit of a shine, and then I go over that with just a little white highlight. It's just a little detail that I think really goes a long way. Because even though I'm trying to get these done quickly, I do want them to look good, so... What I do is when I'm done with the art, I copy the whole page and paste it to a different canvas, and then I duplicate that, and with the one that's underneath, I darken it and blur it, and then with the one on top, I shrink it a little bit so there's a nice border around it and you can see the one that's underneath that's darker. And then I take the eraser and I just use the eraser to make the panel lines. Now I'm writing in the text. I always use Kefa, I think it's called Kefa, and after I write in the text and put it in the general space that I think it will go, that's when I start to add the bubbles. How I do them is I draw a messy circle and hold it there for a couple of seconds, and Procreate will automatically fix the circle for you and make it into a more perfect shape. And then I go back and make sure that the dialogue is fitting inside the bubble area and fix the location if it's not in a good spot. I also add this little line streak to the edge, which I really don't have to do that, but I think it adds, like, I don't know, some extra flair to it, I guess. Okay, I think that's basically it. Nothing too exciting. I just thought this might be nice because a lot of people ask me about how I make these pages. So hopefully this helped. Leave a comment down below if you're still confused because I will answer your question there. And I don't mind, so. God. I feel like such a YouTuber, Jesus Christ. Okay.
This is so much fun!
Yeah, if people want me to do more of these, just let me know. I'll be happy to. Even though I feel like this was kind of boring, but I guess I could talk about other stuff if people have recommendations. Thank you, Banana Split, for helping me with this video. How do I say bye? Oh, thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching!
Peace.
Bye.
Like and subscribe.